The story takes us to the main square of a tribe with a pretty old-school, rustic vibe. From afar, we spot a group of guys surrounding a girl, and one of them mentions that she's still shaking. As we move closer, it becomes clear that she's a fox girl, and one of the men tries to get handsy with her. Suddenly, our protagonist wakes up, shouting for no one to touch him. Li Yuani gets up, confused, wondering who's yelling over there, and what the hell is going on here. Clutching his head, our hero complains about feeling dizzy and questions where he is. Meanwhile, one of the guys gets angry, shouting that the girl bit him and demanding that they take her away. Our protagonist remains completely clueless about what's going on. Just then, he steps out of the hut and finds himself face to face with the strange men. One of them grumbles that the girl is just a slave, adding, "It's no wonder Li Yuani hates her." The crowd starts whispering among themselves, saying that Li Yuani isn't much of a saint either. Luani then wonders if he's somehow been transmigrated into a novel. He realizes that the girl being mistreated is the female lead, Kufu. That's when he remembers, the name of the novel was The Villain's Heroines Are Obsessed With Me. When one of the guys turns to him and calls him Luani, everything clicks. In that instant, it hits him like a bolt of lightning. He's the villain of the story, and he has transmigrated into the story of his obsession. Due to the sudden shock, he was petrified. Right then, as he was trying to get his shit together, the man hands a club to our hero, saying the runaway slave has been caught, and it's now Luani's turn to deal with her. The protagonist thinks to himself that the villain in the novel only lasted 3 days and that this situation is a total ripoff. As if hearing his cue, a bright light suddenly flashes, and a massive pillar of energy descends from the sky. And with that, a floating sphere appears and introduces itself as doing the plot system. The system explains that our boy's mission is to reform the villainesses so that they fall in love with him. Luani, shocked, asks if the system has messed up the story. Doing warns him that if a villainess's corruption value reaches 5 stars, it's game over for him instantly. Then, the system alerts him that the female lead's corruption value is climbing way too fast. One of the men finds it strange that Li Yuani is just standing there and tells him to show them how it's done. He strikes the girl. Our protagonist shouts, asking what the hell he's doing. The guy freezes, startled by the sudden yell. Luani steps forward, standing in front of the girl, and declares he wants to see who dares to bully her. Out of nowhere, a green-haired woman appears with a smug tone, surprised to see Luani protecting Kufu. The system warns that the corruption value is spiking even faster, and our hero can't figure out why. Luani curses himself for being an idiot, not realizing sooner that he's now Kufu's greatest enemy. With that realization, he completely changes his strategy. Our protagonist declares that the girl belongs to him and that no one has the right to interfere. The men conclude that Luani hasn't changed at all and is just being possessive. He orders everyone to stay away from her and threatens anyone who dares touch her again. The fox girl looks at him suspiciously, confused by his sudden shift in attitude. She eyes him warily, still unsure what to think. He then tells her to hurry up and go back home while the system congratulates him. Our protagonist snaps at her, asking if she really thinks he's a patient man. The girl clutches a sharp rock in her hand. Kufu rises to her feet and faces the protagonist, eyes full of distrust. The two, our hero and the fox girl, turn and walk away, watched from afar. The mysterious green-haired woman comments that this Luani is getting quite interesting. After bringing Kufu inside, Luan keeps up his act, shouting, "Keep moving! If you fall behind, I'll break your legs." But Kufu struggles to stand and suddenly collapses. Seeing her fall, Luan sighs softly. She's pitiful, he thinks. But the next second, he laughs loudly. Ha! Fine. This young master will save you properly. Time passes and evening falls. Luan then asks the system, "By the way, don't I get a beginner's gift pack or something?" The system replies, "Host has 10 beginner points, which can be used in the points shop to purchase gifts. What would you like to buy?" Luan groans. "Only 10 points? You've got to be kidding me. I'll have to ask later if this world has a first-time recharge bonus." He scrolls through the shop and mutters, I can't afford any high-tier stuff anyway. Fine. I'll just buy this 2-point women's outfit. Consider it an apology to Kufu on behalf of the previous owner, he says. Looking at her, he adds, why hasn't she woken up yet? She's been unconscious for 3 days already. Just then, Kufu slowly opens her eyes. The system chimes. She's awake. She's awake. Seeing her wake up, Luan thinks, finally. He hands her some soup and says, I just finished cooking this. Drink it. But Kufu flinches in fear, clearly thinking Luan has poisoned it. The system immediately warns him. Oh no, corruption value rising. She thinks you're trying to poison her. Li Yuan, don't break character. Following the system's advice, Luan switches to his villainous tone and says coldly, not drinking, huh? You'll drink it whether you want to or not. I won't have anyone dying in my house. Hurry up. He hands her the soup again and growls. Your worthless life. If you don't drink this, I'll drag you outside myself. Terrified, Kufu takes the bowl and drinks it. After drinking, she weakly asks, what tricks do you still have left? Luan snaps, Tsh, so much attitude. Meanwhile, Kufu thinks to herself, this time Luan fainted because of me. Now that he's awake, I won't survive. Even if I die peacefully, that's fine. But who knows how much torture I'll endure before that. If only I still had my power. Maybe it's better to just end it myself. As she's thinking this, Luan throws a new dress at her and says, stop thinking nonsense. If you die, I'll drag your corpse outside and dump garbage on it. Then he brings her some chicken and rice, placing it beside her. These clothes are for you to wear, and this food is for you to eat. Aren't you grateful to your young master? Meanwhile, a snake is shown watching Luan closely. That snake is actually Janie, the girl from earlier. She slowly transforms back into her human form and thinks, he's still as bad as ever. Doesn't seem like he's changed at all. But that day, I clearly felt something different about him. Never mind. As long as he keeps abusing Kufu like before, I'll still have my chance. 2 other girls call out to her, Chiny, let's go pick fruits together. She replies, okay. The scene shifts back to Luan. He says, you only deserve this kind of food. When I was a kid, even my dog, got 4 dishes and 1 soup every day. We see Kufu sitting silently, not touching the food. Keeping up his act, Luan continues, look at your torn, filthy clothes. People will think I'm so poor that even garbage pickers become my slaves. How embarrassing. Change quickly. Don't disgrace the Li family, and finish your food. If you leave even a single bite, I'll dump it on your head. But then, the system reports, corruption value increased by 1 point. Hearing that, Luan clenches his teeth. He thinks, being harsh doesn't work either. Why is pleasing her so damn difficult? The system replies, no, you weren't harsh enough. She still thinks the food is poisoned. Realizing that, Luan picks up a piece of chicken and thinks, just how terribly did the previous owner treat her for her guard to be this high? Acting again, he says aloud, oh, there's actually a chicken leg in this soup. I didn't even notice. He eats it and adds, you think you deserve chicken legs? It tastes fine, but looking at you ruins my appetite. Saying that, he walks out of the house and shouts from outside, this young master doesn't even want to look at you. As soon as he leaves, Kufu stares at the food for a moment, then suddenly dives in and starts eating ravenously. After finishing everything, she suddenly bursts into tears. The system shows all of this to Luan and says, host, Kufu's corruption value has dropped for the first time. Congratulations. Watching Kufu cry, Luan murmurs, such a cute girl. How could the scumbag from the original novel abuse her so cruelly? And his name's even the same as mine. Tsh, the author of this novel must be a complete pervert. Then he looks at his reflection in the water and mutters, why can't I even see my reflection properly? Looks like I really am a piece of trash. The system replies, in the 6 million word novel, Luan's physical description was only 52 words long. According to our monitoring records, you swiped past that page in 0.66 seconds. Since you didn't remember it, your reflection doesn't resemble a real person. Hearing that, Luan gets angry. Who has time to read an entire paragraph about a canon father's looks? What a waste of life. The system continues. By the way, host, according to the novel, your character setting says you won't take a bath for 3 months. The moment he hears that, Luan pinches his nose and shouts, "Fine, you win. Can I spend 1 point to buy some shower gel?" The system quickly answers, "Of course, no problem. If you purchase shower gel right now, you'll also get a towel and an exfoliating mitt completely free." Hearing the offer, Luan immediately says, "Deal." The system gives him the towel, gel, and other items. Then suddenly, Luan remembers something. "Oh right, I saw that 1-point special offer for a medical kit earlier. Give me one of those too." The system replies, "No problem," and hands him the medical kit as well. Night soon falls. The system says, "By the way, host, any items you purchase from the shop can be used permanently." Hearing that, Luan smiles brightly. So generous. Then as he walks into his house, he asks, "Dinner's been delivered inside, right?" The system answers, "Your bodyguard already delivered it half an hour ago." Hearing that, Luan kicks the door open and mutters, "Then she should have finished eating by now." But as he enters, Kufu is startled. She hasn't even finished her food yet. Seeing this, Luan thinks, "Why hasn't she finished eating?" The system explains, "Oh, I forgot. She's still injured, so eating must be inconvenient for her." Realizing that, Luan says to her, "Sit down and keep eating." Then in a cold tone, he laughs and adds, "If my dog ever left leftovers, you remember what happened, don't you?" Hearing that, Kufu panics and hurriedly starts finishing all her food. While she eats nervously, Luan opens the medical kit. Seeing that, Kufu thinks anxiously, "So now he's found a new way to torture me." Then Luan walks over and starts applying ointment to her wounds. Kufu's eyes widen in shock. The touch stings and she winces. In her mind, she panics. "Just as I thought. He's using poison on me." He's still the same Luan as before. Meanwhile, Luan calmly says while applying medicine, "It hurts, doesn't it? It should hurt." But in his mind, he sighs. There's no point explaining, it's just disinfecting alcohol. Better to let her think I'm torturing her. He keeps up his act. While still applying medicine, he orders, "Keep eating. Don't you dare stop." Then he grabs her other arm and says, "Give me your other injured hand. Every wound must hurt once." Kufu silently endures. When she finally finishes her food, Luan also finishes applying the medicine. Standing up, he says, "I've applied the medicine. I'm leaving now." But the word medicine shocks Kufu. She had been convinced it was poison. She looks down at her wounds and realizes in surprise, "What he applied on me, it was really medicine, not poison." She tries to stop Luan, but he has already walked out. Looking toward the door, she murmurs, "Wait, this isn't even your room." Outside, Leon shivers in the cold. "Damn, it's freezing tonight." All right, it's worth it," he mutters. "Enduring this cold will definitely be worth it." He thinks to himself, when she wakes up tomorrow morning and sees her wounds healed, she'll realize what I applied wasn't poison, but something to help her recover. That should definitely make her corruption value drop. But just as he's thinking that, the system interrupts. "By the way, host, I forgot to tell you, our scoring rules are divided into 2 aspects, corruption and affection. A corruption value of 5 means complete corruption, while an affection value of 5 means complete capture. 1 degree equals roughly 3,000 points. However, buying items from the shop costs points. After your initial 10 points and your recent purchases, you now have only 7 points left." Hearing that, Leon replies confidently, "What's there to be afraid of? I'm treating Kufa so well. By tomorrow morning, I'll definitely gain some points." The system responds, "That's true." The night passes and morning comes. As soon as Leon wakes up, he screams angrily, "Damn it, that ungrateful backstabber." He storms around his room shouting, "This is ridiculous. How is this even possible? After everything I did yesterday, I should have gotten at least 90 points, if not 100, but I didn't get a single one. The system says calmly, "Host, don't worry. We've made significant progress over the past 2 days. We'll soon be able to capture Kufu." Hearing that, Leon stops pacing. Looking down at himself, he mutters, "Damn, I stink so bad. The original owner must have been a slob. No wonder I'm not getting any points. No beauty would like a man who smells like this." Then he adds, "Think about it. If you were Kufu, and you saw a clean, handsome guy who's gentle and considerate toward you, wouldn't your heart flutter?" The system freezes in shock. Meanwhile, Leon starts searching around. "All right, time to scrub myself clean." He exchanges 1 point for toiletries. After some time passes, Kufu sits quietly inside the house. Just then, Leon walks in, freshly shaved and completely clean. He calls out, "Hey!" Seeing him with his new clean look, Kufu is stunned. "You're?" Leon grins proudly. "Pretty stunning, right?" But Kufu immediately takes a few cautious steps back, her entire body tense and alert. Seeing that, Leon blurts out, "Hey, why'd you suddenly move away like that?" The system panics. Not good. Her corruption value is fluctuating again. Leon is shocked. "No way. I'm completely clean now. I might not be world-class handsome, but I'm definitely above average. So why is her corruption value still rising?" The system replies, "According to our calculations, her corruption value will continue increasing at a rate of 0.00001 per second. Host, think of something quickly." After thinking for a moment, Leon smirks wickedly. "True enough. If some beautiful woman suddenly fell head over heels for me, I'd probably think she was trying to steal my kidneys too. Looks like there's only one way left." Then he shouts loudly, "Why are you still wearing those ragged clothes? Didn't I give you new ones? Do you not like the clothes I picked out for you? Every time I talk, you make that gloomy face. Just looking at you brings bad luck. Are you trying to defy me on purpose? Do you want the whole tribe to think the Lee family is stingy?" But in his mind, he sighs. Her PTSD is seriously severe. The narrator adds, "PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, is a mental condition that develops after experiencing a shocking, frightening, or painful event." Leon keeps yelling, "What are you staring at? Hurry up and change your clothes." Kufu nervously replies, "But I should go prepare food." Leon scoffs, "The food you make isn't even fit for a dog to eat." He pushes her gently back onto the bed and says coldly, "You don't need to cook today. Just stay home and reflect on your actions." Then he storms out. As he walks away, he grumbles to himself, "I even used my good looks, and she still won't give me even half a point of affection value." Back inside, Kufu watches him leave. She glances at the dress lying nearby and begins to think. She remembers when Leon stood in front of her, protecting her from those men. Then how he brought her inside and gave her soup to drink. She thinks, "I'm just a slave who ran away and left my master to die. I should have been executed the moment I was caught. Why didn't he kill me? Why did he give me such nice clothes instead?" Looking at her wound, she wonders, if he wanted to torture me, he could have just whipped me a few times. Could it be he actually feels worried about me? Even this wound, it already feels a little better since yesterday. But then her inner voice scolds her. "You're done for. Just because the man who bullies you every day didn't hit you today, you think that means he cares about you?" She shakes her head.
Non. Impossible.
"A person's nature doesn't change overnight. He must be planning a new way to torture me. The Lee family has never been kind people. I can't fall for his tricks." Her conscience answers, "That's right. Stay on high alert. Never trust him easily." A while later, Leon comes back into the room. He's thinking, women, right? Maybe if she wears the beautiful dress tonight, she'll feel happy and her affection value will rise. But the system says regretfully, "Host, I'm sorry to inform you, Kufu's corruption value has increased by another 0.03. That sentence feels like a dagger to Leon's chest. He clutches his head and groans. "This job is impossible. To hell with it all. I quit." The system panics. Please don't. If you quit, we'll both die. As soon as he hears that, Leon gives an evil smirk and says, Hey girl, today's your unlucky day for bumping into me. Serve me well, and I'll grant you a quick and painless death. Then he asks the system, How is that? Was my performance menacing enough? The system quickly replies, More than enough. More than enough. Leon sighs dramatically. No one knows how much effort I put behind the scenes just to stay in character. 2 days. Let's do this for survival. The system echoes him. Let's do this for survival. Later, he returns home carrying some firewood in his hands. Not seeing Kufu around, he shouts, I'm back. Where is everyone? Are you all dead or what? Kufu nervously answers, I'm here. He places the firewood down beside her and says coldly, Go wash up. Put on the clothes I bought for you. You've been filthy all day, you're embarrassing me. What's wrong? Don't like the clothes I picked for you. Kufu quickly responds, No, that's not it, Before she can finish, Leon interrupts. Did I ask you to gather firewood? If your wounds reopen, I'll have to waste more money treating them again. Kufu timidly says, Then I'll. But before she can continue, Leon lights the fire and orders coldly, Enough. Just go and clean yourself up. You need to make yourself presentable for me. Terrified, Kufu immediately replied, I'll go right now. As she walked away, she thought bitterly to herself, so he really is the same Luani. And I actually thought there was hope. Thought maybe his heart had changed. He'll never change. Never. Then Liuani poured water into a basin and said flatly, Go on, wash. He added mockingly, Other people's female slaves have better figures and prettier faces. Just walking outside is easier on the eyes than looking at you. Who would even be interested in you? Seeing him act so convincingly cruel, the system muttered, Host, your cruelty doesn't even feel like acting anymore. After pouring the water, Yuani turned to leave and ordered, Hurry up and wash. Then, speaking privately to the system, he asked, So, how was my acting? The system instantly replied, Excellent, excellent. Meanwhile, Kufu began removing her clothes. Thinking anxiously, he told me to wash myself. Does that mean tonight? Outside, Li Yuani sat troubled. Handling just one Kufu is already this hard. The other 6 won't be easy either, and I can't let them find out about each other or about their relationships with me. Otherwise, their corruption values could spike. This is literally a life or death balance. The system responded, To maintain world peace. I really have no choice but to help you. Luani growled in frustration. This book Transmigration was supposed to be about using cheats, acting cool, and turning the tables, not about becoming AS. The system tried to console him. Think of it this way, host. When you've captured all 7 female villains, you'll command the 7 strongest warriors in the world. That's the ultimate cheat. Isn't that cool? Luani gave a thumbs up. You're right. Becoming AS is just part of the journey. My goal is much greater than that. Meanwhile, Kufu finished washing. Night had fallen. She hesitantly called out, I'm done bathing, and stepped out wearing the new dress. Looking a bit shy, she wondered, Does this look strange on me? Luani glanced at her and said coldly, Impossible. But in his mind, he was already planning. I'll pamper you more to farm affection points, buy you more clothes, then make you try on nurse outfits, police uniforms, yoga wear. Kufu, seeing his cold reaction, thought in shock, is he not satisfied? A little later, sleepiness hit Luani. I'm going to my room to sleep, he told her. When you're done cleaning, stand guard outside while I rest. Protect your master properly. Kufu quietly responded, Oh. But before leaving, Luani suddenly turned back, grabbed her chin and warned, If I wake up in the middle of the night and don't find you in the room, I'll strip you and pin you to the bed. Kufu froze in fear. I understand. He released her and said, That's more like it. The system happily chimed in, Corruption has stopped increasing. Great job, host. Your explosive acting really worked. Before going inside, Yuani warned again, Leave the buckets and everything else where they are. Don't touch anything. If you mess around and worsen your injuries, I'll have to waste more money on you. Got it? Yes, Kufu replied softly. Then she thought to herself, so he's afraid I'll get hurt or die. Not because he cares, but because he doesn't want to waste money. Still, that's fine. She sank to her knees and whispered tearfully, my escape failed, but at least I'm still alive. Life doesn't feel as unbearable as it used to. From inside his room, Luwani saw her kneeling and crying. Then the system suddenly shouted, congratulations! Corruption value has significantly dropped. Reward, 10 points. Shop level 2 unlocked. More products available. Overjoyed, Luwani grabbed the system and hugged it tight, tears welling up in his eyes. Finally, the system said warmly, well done. If we keep up this routine, we'll definitely max out Kufu's affection value. Thinking of her, Luwani smiled faintly. Silly girl. I'm not the same Luwani I used to be. One day you'll understand. I just want to see you smile, to see you happy. Then he lay down and fell asleep. Sometime later, when he opened his eyes, he froze. Kufu was standing beside his bed, taking off her dress. Luwani blushed furiously and yelled, what are you doing? Kufu innocently replied, didn't you say you wanted me to sleep with you? Silence filled the room. Luwani panicked, pinching his nose. When did I ever say that? Wait, why is my nose hot? Don't tell me I'm about to get a nosebleed from embarrassment. The system screamed. Not good. Corruption value increased by 0.01. Trying to control the situation, Luwani shouted, have I been too soft with you? Look at yourself in the mirror. Nothing but bones. Only dogs like chewing on bones. Got it? But inside he was in turmoil. I'm a decent man, and now a woman's throwing herself at me. How am I supposed to resist? Come on, I'm not a eunuch. Don't mess with me. I have procedures for this. Kufu stammered. But master, your recent attitude. Doesn't it mean that you? That's your interpretation. Luwani snapped. You sleep on the bed. I'll sleep on the floor separate. Don't mess with me. He shoved her gently onto the bed. Kufu blinked, startled. I can really sleep on the bed. Luwani scowled, still acting. You jinx. You scared me so bad. I think I pulled a muscle in my back. This bed's too soft. I'm sleeping on the floor tonight. But in his mind, he thought, I might not be a eunuch, but if I make even one wrong move, her corruption value will max out instantly. As he lay down, Kufu quietly asked, so tonight are we still? Nothing. Shut up and sleep. Luwani barked. He turned away and lay on the floor. Seeing him fall asleep, Kufu thought, great, he's asleep. Then she too drifted off, wondering, why do I feel so at ease tonight? But in her sleep, her past memories returned. She saw her village burning, flames everywhere, screams echoing. A man, likely her father, shouted, run! Don't look back. Just keep running. Kufu ran, crying. But before she could get far, she was struck from behind and fell. Bleeding heavily, she was captured and sold as a slave. Remembering all this, her body began trembling even in her sleep. Luwani woke up startled, seeing her shaking violently. Kufu, are you okay? He asked. The system said, it's hard to wake someone trapped in a nightmare. Luwani asked, can you see what she's dreaming about? Is it her past? I can't see the content, the system replied. But her corruption value has been slowly increasing for a while, and it's not stopping. I actually feel bad for you. For about 3 seconds, Luwani murmured. A noble girl with foxkin bloodline, sold into slavery as a child, forced to endure endless humiliation and abuse. You can probably guess what she's dreaming about. He gently brushed her cheek, thinking, in the original novel, it was written that her foxkin powers were partly sealed because of childhood trauma. That's why she ended up as someone everyone could bully. He glanced at her wound and murmured softly, it's still not completely healed. Then, as he carefully applied the medicine, he wondered, if I apply more, will it recover faster? Even in her sleep, Kufu winced from the sting but pretended to stay asleep. She thought, what is he doing to me? It hurts so much. More anxious thoughts raced through her mind. During the day, he orders me to eat. At night, he forces me to share the bed. Is all of this just to make me let my guard down before he poisons me? Anger surged within her. She opened her eyes, glaring furiously. If you want to kill me, then just do it already. Why torture me like this? Even a pig would have woken up from this pain by now. Reaching toward the sharp object beside her, she saw that Luani had already fallen asleep after applying the medicine. Kufu raised the blade slightly and whispered to herself, if you're tormenting me while I sleep, don't blame me for fighting back. But then she froze. Wait, why does it itch so much? Looking down, she gasped in disbelief. Her wound, it was healing so quickly. Shocked, she just stared for a moment. Then her thoughts softened. So what he said earlier about the medicine was true. Her eyes trembled faintly, and right then, her feelings toward Luani began to change. The scene shifted to the next morning. Linny was still fast asleep when suddenly the system woke him in alarm. Stop sleeping. Something terrible has happened. The real protagonist has transmigrated here too. Linny sat up abruptly, rubbing his drowsy eyes. What real protagonist? Fake protagonist? What are you even talking about? He asked, confused. The system yelled, I'm not joking. The original male lead from My Seven Wives Are Big Villains, Sharon Ree, has appeared here. I detected an energy fluctuation through background monitoring. After tracing the source, I confirmed that Arthur was the one who brought Sharon Ree into this world. Hearing that, Linny felt as if the ground had vanished beneath his feet. He screamed in shock. The original male lead, the one who's handsome, amazing in bed, and a master of sweet talk? What am I supposed to do now that he's here? The system, growing even more anxious, exclaimed, I didn't think he'd move this fast. With his abilities, he'll surpass your progress in no time. Li Yuani's mind went blank as panic set in. It's already hard enough dealing with Kufu alone. And now the real protagonist shows up? I'm the pervert who abused her. This is a life and death crisis. Enough! The system cut him off sharply. Right now, the most urgent thing is to increase Kufu's affection for you. Fast. But Li Yuani shook his head. You saw it yourself. I can't rush things with Kufu, or it'll completely backfire. The system started to panic even more and shouted, if the male lead conquers all 7 heroines before you, the main system will directly obliterate us. At the word obliterate, Li Yuani fell silent, deep in thought. After a moment, he calmed himself and analyzed the situation. No, thinking about it carefully, there's no need to panic. After last night, I gained 30 points. That means my approach is working. He continued, closeness gives me an advantage. There's no need to be this nervous. After all, the canon father who was supposed to die didn't. The story's already deviated. If he wants to approach Kufu and change her, he'll have to get through me first. Seeing Li Yuani's confidence, the system finally relaxed a little. That's more like it. I was in such a rush. I forgot to tell you you've earned points.
Li Yuani nodded firmly.
I can see that myself. Let's just take it step by step. I'll simply add one more note to my list. Be cautious of the real protagonist. The system agreed reluctantly. Fine. Okay. But neither of them realized that nearby, Kufu, who had been sleeping, had already woken up and heard everything. Hearing their voices, she thought, he's muttering again. Is he talking to someone? Before she could figure it out, Li Yuani walked over, gently placed his hand on her head, and said softly, my good little fox, sleep peacefully and wait for me at home like a G. With that, he left the house. Behind him, Kufu sat up, utterly confused by his strange behavior. Little fox? Good girl? She repeated blankly. The scene changed again, this time to the wild forest. Someone was singing in the distance, the sound echoing through the empty woods. On that stormy battlefield, a restless young man made his debut, and that singer was none other than Li Yuani himself. As he gathered firewood, he secretly plotted a new plan to impress Kufu. Next time, I'll bring her here, stage a beast attack, then swoop in like a hero to save her. Maybe I'll even take a scratch or two so she sees I risked my life for her. Once she realizes that she'll definitely... Lost in fantasy, he was startled by a rustling sound from the bushes. He immediately turned, alert. Who's there? I can see you. Come out. Though he hadn't actually seen anyone, he stared intently toward the noise. Then a familiar voice called out, "Don't attack. We're from the same tribe." It was the same girl who had been watching him before. She stepped forward and said, "From afar, I heard cries and howls in the forest, only to realize it was you singing. I saw you before in the small plaza. Your name's Li Yuani, right?" Scratching his head awkwardly, Li Yuani replied, "I thought no one was around, so I just sang a few lines out of boredom. Did I scare you?" The two girls standing behind her whispered among themselves. "Is that Li Yuani? The same name, right? But everyone says Li Yuani's an ugly, dark-skinned sadist. This one actually looks pretty handsome. Kinda cute, even." Though they spoke quietly, Li Yuani heard every word. Hearing their compliments, he smiled inwardly. "You can say it louder if you want." Then the first girl stepped closer and said, "You've really changed a lot since last time." In her mind, she thought, he looks like a completely different person. Li Yuani seized the opportunity. "By the way, I still don't know your names," he said. The girl smiled and replied, "I'm Xiaoyuan. We were just picking these. They're really sweet." The other two introduced themselves as Ning and Jiang Sui. At first, Linny politely refused the watermelon. "Oh no, I can't take that really." But Xiaoyuan insisted. "We picked plenty on our way down the mountain. Here, try it. You can even take some back for your female slave to taste." The words female slave instantly triggered something in Lin's mind. He quickly cursed at the slave in his heart, reminding himself to stay in character. She's just a slave, after all. What's wrong with her tasting it? It's not like she's worthy anyway. Then, activating his full drama queen mode, he thought proudly, if you're going to act perfectly. Don't show even a single flaw. That's what makes a true best actor. The system commented dryly, "Host, you're being way too cautious." Then Xiaoyuan turned to her two friends and said, "Let's go." The three of them began walking away, but before leaving, Xiaoyuan looked back and smiled.
Goodbye, Li Yuani.
Li Yuani waved and replied, "Goodbye." As the girls disappeared into the forest, he stared after them and frowned slightly. Wait, is my memory failing me? Was there ever a beauty named Xiaoyuan in the original story? The system replied flatly, "You're asking me? Among the 7 female leads you're supposed to capture, none are named Xiaoyuan. You're fair-skinned and clean now. Maybe your new charm is attracting extra female characters." Hearing that, Lin laughed proudly. "Now that you mention it, I think so too." After that, Li Yuani returned home and went straight to the kitchen to light the fire. Frustrated, he muttered, "Why is cooking always such a pain? Damn it, the tinderbox is empty again. How am I supposed to light this now?" Annoyed, he shouted, "System, give me a lighter. You've got one, right?" The system immediately replied, "Yes, available for 1 point." The next moment, a lighter appeared in Li Yuani's hand. The moment he held it, a devilish grin spread across his face. Igniting it, he said proudly, "Let these bumpkins witness the great invention of a new age, the lighter." Just then, Kufu's voice came from the kitchen doorway. "I heard you're in the kitchen." Hearing that, Luani froze in panic and quickly hid the lighter under his foot. Stammering, he said, "Why, yeah, it's me. But wait, why are you here?" Kufu replied softly, I came to cook." Still trying to act normal, Luani said, "You cook your food. I'm just practicing how to make fire. Nothing to do with you." Saying that, he grabbed 2 sticks and began rubbing them together furiously. But not even a spark appeared. Kufu sat quietly nearby, watching the whole ridiculous scene unfold. Unable to make fire, Luani felt deeply embarrassed inside. Rubbing sticks to make fire? Isn't that too much for a human? Damn, what if this humiliation raises her corruption value again? he thought. As we know, making fire by rubbing wood doesn't literally mean drilling out flames, but generating enough heat to ignite flammable material. Just then, Kufu stepped forward and said, "Let me do it." She took the sticks from him, and in an instant, summoned a small spark with her magic, easily lighting the fire and placing it in the stove. Luani's eyes widened in shock as he shouted, "Holy, sir, amazing." Kufu said calmly, "Even though my power hasn't fully recovered, I can still summon a small spark like this." Utterly astonished, Luani thought, she used magic. Real magic. Does something like this actually exist? What about the law of conservation of energy? He muttered to himself excitedly, "Sure, I knew this world was a fantasy setting, but seeing it with my own eyes, this is thrilling." Overcome with excitement, he tugged lightly at Kufu's dress and asked, "That hand gesture you made, do you also have to chant a mantra or incantation with it?" Kufu shook her head. "No, you just focus your power and sync it with your will." Hearing that, Luani became even more excited. "That's amazing. So, do you always light fire like this? Doesn't it burn your fingers?" Kufu looked puzzled. "Oh no, it doesn't." Luani immediately bombarded her with questions. "Does this skill have any cost? Can I learn it too? How do you learn it? Oh right, can you use only fire or can you also control water, ice, and lightning? Holy, __, that's awesome. And eco-friendly too, right? Damn. No wonder there's no need for technology when magic exists." All his words flew straight over Kufu's head. She thought silently, "I don't understand anything he's saying." Then she glanced at him again, and for the first time, her heart fluttered slightly. Why do I suddenly think he looks kind of cute? But her inner voice screamed, "Have you lost your mind? You think he's cute? Don't forget how many years he tormented you." Startled, Kufu immediately stood up, shaking off her thoughts. "He's a deviant. All of this is just an act." Meanwhile, Luani was deep in thought. How do I concentrate energy? The system interrupted. Points can be exchanged for skills. While Kufu began cooking, her attention still lingered partly on Luani. He's really been acting differently these past 2 days, she thought. At the same time, Luani asked the system, "So, can that be exchanged too?" Still deep in thought, Kufu murmured to herself, "His attitude toward me is still cold, but he hasn't beaten or humiliated me like before. He even applied medicine to my wounds and let me sleep on the bed." And Luani continued, "So, what skills can I buy right now?" The system replied, "You currently have 46 points. You can use 45 to exchange for the skill Danger Premonition, which lets you sense danger 10 seconds before it happens." Luani frowned. "Only 10 seconds before? What's the point of that?" The system added host skills can be upgraded. Luani sighed. "Oh, still. That's too expensive for now. I'll buy it another day." Then the scene shifted back to Kufu, who was still cooking, but her mind was entirely filled with thoughts of Luani. He's actually kind of good-looking now, and he even smells nice. Thinking that, her cheeks flushed red. Luani noticed her strange behavior and thought, something's off. The pot's completely overflowing with water. She's distracted, and her face keeps turning red and pale. Is she about to get corrupted again? I need to act fast. Then suddenly an idea struck him. Got it. In the next moment, he picked up the watermelon he'd gotten earlier, walked over to her and said, "Kufu, look." She turned around and looked at it. "A honeydew melon? Where did that come from?" Luani replied casually, "When I went to gather firewood this morning, I met a girl from the tribe picking melons. She gave me this and said it's really sweet." Hearing that, Kufu's eyes narrowed sharply. "A girl gave it to you?" she asked coldly, thinking, so now that he's good-looking, he just goes around flirting with girls. And they're handing him melons, huh? Luani continued casually, "Of course. Don't women love picking fruits and flowers? Anyway, keep this melon for lunch. Big guys like me don't like sweet stuff, you're lucky." Hearing all that, Kufu's temper flared. She snapped angrily, "I don't want it." Then she turned back to her cooking. Lu snapped, saying, "When I give you something, how dare you refuse?" He slammed the melon down on the table and stormed out of the kitchen, muttering, "This kitchen's too greasy. I'm leaving. Cook something decent for me." Outside, Leanie finally let out a sigh of relief and sat down. "System, how was that? Did I time my exit right? The situation's still under control, right?" The system replied, "Something strange. I detected a huge emotional fluctuation from Kufu, but it's not corruption." Leanie said, "As long as it's not corruption, it's fine." The system murmured, "Still, this emotion feels odd. What kind of feeling is that?" Meanwhile, back in the kitchen, Kufa glared angrily at the melon. "Someone gives you a melon, and you just take it. You'll accept anything from anyone, won't you?" Even the poor watermelon seemed to tremble under her fierce stare. Outside, Leanie looked troubled as he stared at the system window. "This panel has so few functions and even fewer points," he grumbled. "How am I supposed to upgrade like this?" The system answered, "Don't worry. Once the 7 female villains appear one after another, you'll have more targets to capture, and earning points will be easy." Leanie's eyes lit up. "That's true. If I grind all 7 at once, won't the points double?" He started imagining how many corruption points he could gain once all 7 female leads were under him. But then another thought struck him. What if all 7 tried to kill him instead? He quickly shook his head and muttered, "One Chufu is already enough trouble. 7 beauties? I don't think I can handle that kind of fortune." The scene shifts. Tribe Plaza. A group of villagers gathers around an elder. The elder announces, "This winter will be the same as previous years. The female slaves will pick cotton, and the male slaves will hunt. All female slaves will be guarded by the 2nd-level warriors of the wolf tribe." That elder was Tribe Elder Sufu. At that moment, Louis arrived, looking for Chufu. He glanced around and muttered, "Where's my darling Chufu?" Then he spotted her. "Oh, there she is." He winked at her, but Chufu ignored him and walked away with a pout. Luani looked stunned. "You've got to be kidding me. I even gave her a watermelon yesterday. How long do I have to keep playing the villain? Why is capturing women so hard? It's supposed to be easy to build a harem in web novels." 5 days later, Liani sat at the bottom of the stairs, muttering, "All the other female slaves have returned, but there's still no sign of Kufu. Aren't you going to explain this?" "I'm not leaving until you do." The elder overheard him and snapped, "You scoundrel, will you ever stop? Didn't I already send someone to look for her? Get lost. I'm going home." Li Yuani stood up and asked, "Did you find anything out? What's the result?" Hearing that, the elder grew angry and called for a guard. The guard arrived. "Elder, you were looking for me?" The elder asked. "That female slave named Kufu still hasn't returned. What's going on?" The guard shrugged. "What's it got to do with me? She had a bad temper and was shunned by the other slaves, so she worked alone in a corner. Then she just vanished. I heard someone from the dark tribe took her." As soon as Luani heard that, he was shocked. He grabbed the guard by the collar and shouted, "She was abducted? And you didn't say anything sooner? Weren't you supposed to be protecting the female slaves?" The guard snapped back, "I was there to supervise them, to make sure they didn't slack off. Is it my fault she got herself left behind? Besides, she's just a slave. If she dies, buy another one. It's not like she's some rare treasure." Li Yuani's face darkened in rage, and he punched the guard hard across the face. The guard roared, "Bullshit! I'll beat you to death. You useless fool who can't protect anyone." The two started fighting fiercely. The villagers whispered among themselves, "Kufu's gone. The Leaf family won't make any contribution this winter. No wonder he's so angry," another murmured. The elder rushed between them, shouting, "Hey, stop fighting. Stop." A girl nearby muttered, "He'll have to rely on himself now. That kid can't afford another female slave anyway." The elder finally managed to break up the fight. Li Yuani glared at them and declared, "Kufu was abducted, not killed. I'll definitely bring her back." He stormed off while the villagers snickered behind him. "She's just a slave, isn't she? Acting all heroic like that. Does he think he's some kind of king? Later, at Luani's home, he rummaged through his things, searching for a weapon to rescue Kufu. The system said, although your appearance has changed the story, the fact that Kufu gets captured hasn't changed. If we rescue her before the original male lead, Xianra, will seize the initiative. Li Yuani found a wooden staff and grinned. Got it. Don't worry. Meanwhile, at the city gate, a man stood there. He also had a system like Li Yuani. You said you just detected another system in this world. Who is it? He asked. The system replied, unable to lock on for now, but it's likely the original work's male lead, Xianra. This was Xianra's system, Shuading. Xianra frowned. Kufu's useless master, Luani, was supposed to have died a few days ago, but he's still alive. Could it be him? The system answered, Master, don't worry. Even if it is him, he's no threat. It's normal for a side character's plot to deviate slightly. The main story still revolves around you. Xianra smirked. Ha, who'd be afraid of him? Once I rescue Kufu, I'll take her far away from that cruel master who only knows how to bully her. I'll reform her into a gentle little lamb. The system replied, Li Yuani does nothing but beat and scold Kufu. In a way, he's helping you capture her. Looking at it that way, Master, you truly are the chosen one. Meanwhile, Luani sneezed loudly. Who's bad-mouthing this young master? He shook his head and went back to preparing for Kufu's rescue.